I'm Captain Chris Hollinger. I'm a senior director flying with the 963rd AWACS, the Blue Knights out of Tinker, and we're deployed up here with Exercise Global Yankee, just doing the standard AWACS thing, trying to integrate ourselves and work with your guys into your airborne command and control system. I guess Global Yankee's been going for, this is their second year, and first year that they've had AWACS play in, so they've got the AOC set up at Fort Drum, and they've done a real good job of putting stuff together up there, and we're trying to bring an E3 into that theater air control system for the first time this year. Basically, as an airborne element of the theater air control system, we're working with the Air Operations Center. An ATO is published that designates, okay, this is all the flying that's going to happen today. That comes from combat plans up at the AOC, and then when it actually is executed, the planes go out to fly their missions. We're flying and providing control to the airplanes flying, in this case in an airspace, in a training airspace, working with them, and then if it were an actual combat situation, we'd be providing control to the airplanes flying over enemy territory, either dropping bombs, engaging enemy fighters, or doing aerial refueling. And then we provide information back to the AOC regarding how well the mission's going. You know, this is what's happening. These guys are all doing their thing okay. These guys have dropped out for maintenance problems. These guys had to turn around and come back. You know, there's weather here. We think we need to redirect guys to different targets, that kind of thing. We've shot down this many enemy planes. This many targets have been destroyed. This many targets have not been destroyed, and we need to reallocate forces for them. All that information comes from us, from the guys out there actually flying, comes up to us, and then as the ESD, I'd be responsible for coordinating and passing that information down to the Combat Ops Center. The Combat Ops guys then consolidate all that information coming in from me, coming in from, say, the ground tax units, the ground GCI units that might also be involved in the operation. They fuse it all together and make decisions about, okay, this is how we're going to continue to execute the war for today, and this is what we're going to do, and use that to develop the plan for tomorrow. And if anything has to be changed dynamically, you know, real time, the guys on the ground say, hey, we need to retarget this airplane to a new target. They'll pass that word up to me. I'll tell the controller who's got that airplane under control. He'll go out over the radio and say, okay, boom, your new target is here, go. And basically just look at, that's what real-time battle management and command and control is all about. And we pretty much do that from right up here, you know, and being airborne and having the deep look radar and the great comm capabilities that we have makes us pretty much better than anybody at doing that real-time battle management.
I'm Senior Airman Rob Duran. I'm a weapons director. As a weapons director, we're working directly for the senior director in the implementation of the ATO, and we're actually the hands-on controllers that are ensuring flight safety is met. Our primary job is assisting the pilots, initially giving them the long look using our radar. Since our systems have a little bit longer range than theirs, we're telling them what to look for initially, and then once they start to pick up radar contacts, we're providing them amplifying data, and then we're listening to what they're doing, making sure that we're all seeing the same picture and that there are no untargeted groups that are getting in. Then once the aircraft get closer to where they're actually going to be engaging, we're making sure that that we're maneuvering the aircraft so that they can employ ordnance and then exit the fight safely. Primarily what we're looking for at that point is we're looking for untargeted groups and any threat calls that we have to make. We're just making sure that the pilots maintain a high situational awareness and that there's no blue-on-blue incidents. Big thing for us is that since we've been here, we've had an opportunity to work with the guard units that don't necessarily get to work with AWACS, especially face-to-face, which is a great thing for us because often the briefs that we're receiving are done over the telephone or they're done in the air, and then we're not getting any debriefing comments because the pilots are on their way back to their base. Here we've been able to come back after the missions and thoroughly debrief what worked and what didn't work tactically, and exactly what the pilots would want from us if we were to deploy in a real-world operation.
Any of your guard guys that, I know a lot of the Syracuse guys went to Desert Storm. Anybody that's spent any time in Desert Storm or Desert Shield has worked with AWACS a lot because AWACS was a big part of the theater air control system in Desert Storm. We had several planes out there flying all the time. But for other guys that haven't gone and deployed to either Desert Storm or to Southern Watch or provide comfort, the ops that have been going on in Saudi and Turkey, or to denied flight, the op that's been going on in Bosnia, if they haven't been there, odds are they probably haven't gotten a whole lot of experience with AWACS. We unfortunately don't spend enough time working with the Air Guard. We spend most of our time working with active duty forces. We'll work with Guard guys on day-long training missions, one-day training missions, that kind of thing. And we, again, being from the central part of the United States at Tinker, we spend a lot more time working with the Guard units in the central part of the United States. It's the first time I've ever been up here to work with the Syracuse Guard. and that's just a function of how long it takes us to drive here. So for a one-day trip, it's not real good. We don't get to spend a lot of time up here. But when we come up for a week and spend a week up here, it's great because we can land stage right out of here, get some good time to face brief with the pilots, and get that extra experience. So not a lot of specific work with these pilots flying in Global Yankee, but our units elsewhere, they might get more work with us.